Have you ever held something so tightly, only to watch it slip away? What if letting go is not losing, but finding a deeper freedom within yourself? And could it be that true peace lies not in control, but in surrender? In the midst of our busy lives, where chaos and pressure constantly swirl around us, the ancient wisdom of Buddhism gently calls us inward. It offers timeless teachings, millennia old, showing us a different path, one of acceptance, of letting go, and of deep inner clarity. It reminds us that everything that is meant for us will arrive at the right time, without force or struggle. Through stories and parables passed down through generations, we begin to uncover the quiet art of releasing what no longer serves us. We learn to stop clinging, whether to people, objects, or ideas, and instead welcome what life offers with open hands and an open heart. Let's begin with a tale. Once upon a time, a young monk was gifted a delicate porcelain cup by his master. He treasured it, admired it, and carried it with him everywhere. It was more than just a cup. It symbolized beauty, connection, and memory. But one day, it slipped from his hands and shattered into countless pieces on the stone floor. The monk stood frozen, heart heavy with loss. Sensing his grief, the master simply said, "That cup was already broken from the beginning." This statement may seem puzzling at first, but in truth, it holds the essence of detachment. You see, detachment isn't cold indifference or giving up. It's the deep understanding that everything in this world is temporary. How often do we hold on too tightly, gripping relationships that have run their course, clinging to outcomes we can't control, or replaying memories that keep us stuck in the past? We fear letting go because we think it means losing something. But the teachings of Buddhism reveal the opposite. Letting go is the moment we become free. Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment. And why do we cling? Because we crave certainty in a world that constantly changes. But here's the truth. Lasting security isn't found in what surrounds us. It's in our ability to embrace impermanence. Imagine a river. Does it grasp the water that flows through it? Number. It simply moves forward, embracing the flow. We too can learn to move with life's currents instead of resisting them. Think back. How many times has life taken something away, only to offer you something better? Yet in that moment of loss, clouded by fear or anxiety, we couldn't see the gift waiting ahead. Practicing detachment doesn't mean abandoning what we love. It means loving with freedom, not ownership. It's enjoying the beauty of the present, knowing it may change, and being at peace when it does. In this way, detachment becomes a doorway, a key that opens us to the next profound step on the path, acceptance. Because once we've learned to release what doesn't belong, we're ready to welcome what life gives us, without resistance. So, what does it really mean to embrace reality as it is? Acceptance is not about giving up. It's not surrendering in defeat. Rather, it's about seeing reality clearly, without filters, without illusions, and without the stories we often tell ourselves. But here's the question. Why is acceptance so difficult? Because the mind loves to create its own version of how things should be. We imagine that if we try hard enough, if we push and strive and control, everything will eventually go our way. But life doesn't always cooperate with our plans. Picture yourself standing on a beach. A massive wave is rising and rushing toward you. You can yell at it, curse it, even try to stop it, but the wave keeps coming. You can't make it disappear just because you don't like it. Instead, you have a choice: resist it, or dive into it and let it carry you. Life's challenges are like that wave. Resistance only brings more struggle, more pain. Acceptance, on the other hand, doesn't mean we passively allow harm or injustice. It doesn't mean giving up on our goals or desires. It simply means acknowledging what is, without denial, without exaggeration, and from there, choosing our next step with clarity. Consider the story of the archer. A master archer knows how to aim with perfect precision. He trains for years to calculate distance, wind, tension, and movement, but even he cannot control everything. The breeze may shift, the air may grow humid, the target may move. He can curse his luck, or he can breathe, adjust his aim, and shoot again. Life is no different. So much is beyond our control. Acceptance helps us turn our energy toward what can be influenced: our actions, our choices, our attitude. Often we resist reality because we think that accepting it means we're losing. But in truth, acceptance is a form of strength. It lifts the burden of pointless resistance and brings our focus back to what really matters. It is not passive, it's powerful. The secret lies in shifting the question. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this here to teach me?" That one shift changes everything. Suddenly, life's difficulties become lessons. Suffering becomes insight, and confusion gives way to growth. True acceptance also means embracing ourselves, with all our imperfections, mistakes, and regrets. So often, our harshest judgment is turned inward, but punishing ourselves doesn't lead to healing. Only through acceptance can we begin to truly change. Remember the monk whose cup broke? When he accepted that it was always destined to break, he found peace. He stopped resisting the inevitable, and in that stillness, trust was born. The quiet, steady trust that what is meant for us will find us, and what is not will quietly fall away. In the part of our journey, we'll step deeper into this trust through ancient Buddhist stories that reveal how life, in its mysterious ways, always gives us what we need, even if we don't understand it in the moment. Let's begin with the tale of a wild horse and a wise monk. Coming up next, fate and trust in life. Previously, we explored how trust in life begins with acceptance, accepting even what we do not yet understand. Now, let us step deeper into that trust through a story passed down in Buddhist tradition. In a quiet village, an old monk lived a simple life. One day, a magnificent wild horse appeared in his garden. The villagers, astonished by its beauty, exclaimed, "What great luck you have! A horse like this is a rare treasure." But the monk, calm as ever, replied with a gentle smile, "Luck or misfortune? Who knows?" A few days later, his only son tried to tame the horse. He fell badly and broke his leg. The villagers came rushing again, this time full of pity. "Oh no, what a terrible misfortune," they cried. But once again, the monk responded in the same quiet tone, "Luck or misfortune, who knows?" Weeks passed. A war broke out. All the young men in the village were drafted to fight, except the monk's son, who was spared because of his injury. This time the villagers returned in amazement. "What luck you have! Your son is safe." And once again, the monk's voice was steady and unchanged. "Luck or misfortune? Who knows?" This story reveals a truth that's easy to forget. Life is far bigger than what we can see in a single moment. Often we are too quick to label something as good or bad, not realizing how today's pain might become tomorrow's blessing. How many times has something that once seemed like a disaster become the doorway to something better? Maybe you lost a job and thought it was the end, yet that very loss led you to discover a new passion. Maybe a relationship ended painfully, yet with time you realized it was a gift in disguise. Buddhism reminds us, life is wise. What leaves our lives departs because its cycle is complete, and what enters comes because we are ready to receive it. But to see this clearly, we need something precious, patience, and the willingness to trust what we cannot yet understand. Another Buddhist tale brings this idea to life. A man once saw a butterfly struggling to free itself from its cocoon. Wanting to help, he gently opened it to release the butterfly, but the butterfly's wings were weak. It had not gone through the necessary struggle. Without the effort of pushing through on its own, it never gained the strength to fly. The man didn't realize it, but by helping too soon, he had actually harmed it. We too are like that butterfly. How often do we try to rush the process? We want answers now, results now. But growth cannot be hurried. Transformation requires time. Struggle often has a purpose, even if we don't see it immediately. We can't force the cocoon to open before it's time. Just like a farmer doesn't pull on his crops to make them grow faster. He plants, waters, waits, and trusts in the natural rhythm of life. To trust in life doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means doing what we can, with care, without panic. It means watching, listening, adjusting, like a mindful observer, not a frantic controller. So, when you find yourself in a difficult moment, pause. Ask not, how can I escape this? But what is this moment teaching me? Sometimes the answers are not immediate. But when we look back, we often see that everything had a role, a meaning, a lesson. Learning to live with uncertainty may not be easy, but it frees us. It lifts the burden of fear. It helps us stop chasing the future and finally enjoy the now. And on this path of trust, there is a practice, gentle yet powerful, that helps calm the storm within and anchor us in the present. We'll explore meditation, a sacred tool in Buddhism that helps us find stillness, clarity, and peace amidst life's ever-changing waves. Let's step into the practice together. As we learned in the last chapter, trusting the flow of life starts with stillness. And there's one powerful practice that helps us cultivate that inner stillness, clarity, and acceptance. Meditation. A disciple once came to his master, troubled and overwhelmed. "My thoughts won't stop," he said. "I feel lost in the noise of my own mind." The master didn't answer directly. Instead, he handed the disciple a glass of water filled with dirt. "Shake it," he said. The disciple did, and the water turned muddy and clouded. "Now, place it down and wait." A few moments passed. Slowly, the dirt began to settle at the bottom, and the water grew clear again. "This," said the master gently, "is your mind. When you let it be still, clarity comes on its own. This simple moment holds a profound truth. Meditation is not about emptying the mind. It's not about running away from our problems or forcing ourselves into silence. Instead, it's the art of observing, watching thoughts arise and pass without judgment, letting feelings come and go like waves on the ocean. In our modern lives, we are bombarded with constant noise, notifications, social media, deadlines, endless worries. Our minds are rarely at rest, but when we meditate, even for just a few minutes, we give the mind space to breathe. It's like turning down the volume of the outside world to hear the gentle whisper within. And the benefits? They're not just spiritual. Science backs them up. Regular meditation reduces stress, improves focus, enhances emotional resilience, and even strengthens the immune system. But more than all that, it helps us form a more compassionate, balanced relationship with our own minds. Most importantly, meditation teaches us about impermanence. As we sit in silence and focus on our breath, we begin to notice every thought rises and then fades. Every emotion, no matter how strong, eventually passes. Pain, sadness, anxiety, they all flow through us like clouds drifting across the sky. We start to realize nothing is fixed. Nothing stays forever. Still, many people say, "I can't meditate. My mind won't stop." But here's the secret. Your mind doesn't need to stop. Meditation isn't about eliminating thoughts. It's about recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You're the sky, not the clouds passing through it. Buddhism offers many forms of meditation. One of the simplest and most transformative is breath meditation. Just find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and bring gentle attention to your breath. Notice the air entering and leaving your nostrils. Don't try to control it, just observe. And when your mind wanders, which it will, kindly guide it back, again and again. There's no need to force anything. Like the settling water, peace comes when you stop shaking the glass. Another beautiful practice is gratitude meditation. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for, even small things. This simple act shifts your attention from lack to abundance, from what's missing to what's already present. And then there's the letting go meditation. If something heavy is weighing on your heart, close your eyes. Imagine holding it gently in your hands. With each slow exhale, picture yourself releasing it, bit by bit, into the wind. It's a quiet but powerful ritual of emotional release. With consistent practice, something begins to change. We react less to challenges. We carry more calm in everyday life. We become more grounded in the present moment. And this presence, that deep sense of now, is the foundation for the next step in our journey. Learning to surrender control and flow with the rhythm of life. We'll walk beside the river with a Buddhist master and explore what it means to release the need to control everything and trust the gentle unfolding of the universe. Let's flow forward together. We explored how meditation helps us connect with the present and build trust in life. Now, we move into one of the hardest lessons of all, letting go of control. We spend much of our lives trying to control everything, our relationships, our future, what others think of us. We believe that if we plan well enough, try hard enough, we can avoid pain and secure happiness. But life doesn't follow our scripts. Like the flowing river, it keeps moving, twisting, turning, shifting. And when we cling tightly to things we cannot control, we suffer. Buddhism reminds us of a gentle but powerful truth. Peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from releasing the need to. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop believing that everything is up to us. We can give our best effort, but we can't guarantee results. We can love someone deeply, but we can't make them stay. We can take care of our health, but we can't prevent every illness. There's a story in Buddhism that illustrates this beautifully. A man was hanging from the branch of a tree, suspended over the edge of a cliff. His arms were trembling, his body weak with fear. He didn't dare let go, believing that a fall would mean certain death. But what he couldn't see was that just below him was solid ground. If he had released the branch, he would have landed safely. But his fear kept him stuck, trapped not by danger, but by the illusion of it. Isn't that how many of us live? We hold on to jobs that drain us, relationships that have faded, dreams that no longer fit. We're so afraid to let go because we imagine we'll fall. But more often than not, letting go is what saves us. So how do we learn to let go? It begins with accepting uncertainty. Life offers no perfect guarantees. The problem isn't uncertainty itself, it's our refusal to accept it. Instead of facing the unknown with fear, what if we approached it with curiosity? What might life be trying to bring me next? Often, what looks like an ending is actually a beginning in disguise. A lost job becomes the start of a meaningful career. A heartbreak opens the door to deeper love. Everything is connected in ways we rarely understand in the moment. Looking back, we often see how things had to fall apart for something better to fall into place. Another powerful shift is to stop attaching our identity to outcomes. We act not only for rewards, but because the act itself has value. Like the artist who paints without worrying if the painting will sell, like a child who plays simply for the joy of playing. When we move from this place of freedom, life becomes lighter, more joyful. Meditation supports this too. It helps us recognize our fears without being swept away by them. It clears the fog so we can see what's really within our control and what's not. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive or careless. It means trusting that whatever comes, we can meet it, that we are capable, resilient, that we don't need to grip so tightly. And something beautiful happens when we begin to flow instead of resist. We soften. We feel more compassion, not only for others, but for ourselves. Because letting go isn't just about releasing our grip on the outside world. It's also about releasing the harsh voices within, self-judgment, guilt, and criticism. We touched on how letting go allows us to soften, not just toward life's uncertainties, but toward ourselves. Now, we journey into one of the most transformative powers in Buddhism: compassion. A monk was walking along a quiet path when he came across a man who was striking his chest, eyes filled with tears. "Master," the man cried out, "I have made so many mistakes. I've hurt the people I love, and I can't forgive myself." The monk paused, looked at him with gentle eyes, and said, "If a bird were to break its own wing for having made a mistake in flight, how could it ever fly again?" That's what self-blame does. It cripples us. It holds us back from healing, from growth, from moving forward. Compassion, on the other hand, is the wind beneath our wings. It is what allows us to rise again. In Buddhism, compassion is one of the most vital pillars of the spiritual path. But it's often misunderstood. It's not only about being kind to others, it's about learning how to be kind to ourselves. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We punish ourselves for past choices. We demand perfection. We speak to ourselves with a cruelty we would never use on someone we love. Ask yourself this: would you ever speak to a dear friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself? And yet, we carry that inner harshness like a burden, believing it makes us stronger or better. But here's the truth. Self-criticism doesn't create lasting change. It doesn't lead to growth. It only deepens wounds. True transformation begins with self-compassion, not as an excuse to avoid growth, but as the foundation that makes growth possible. A tree doesn't grow taller by being struck. It grows because it is nourished, gently, patiently, with care. In Buddhist practice, there is a powerful form of meditation called metta bhavana, or loving kindness meditation. It begins with something simple, yet profound. May I be well. May I be happy. May I live in peace. At first, these words may feel strange, even uncomfortable. Why? Because many of us believe, deep down, that we don't deserve happiness. But the truth is this: only when we learn to offer kindness to ourselves can we offer authentic compassion to others. Compassion also means recognizing that everyone is on their own journey of learning. No one is born knowing how to live. We all stumble. We all regret. We all carry moments we wish we could undo. If we continue to punish ourselves for the past, we remain stuck in it. But when we begin to understand, we begin to heal. Now, compassion doesn't mean tolerating what hurts us. If someone mistreats us, we don't have to accept their behavior. We can set boundaries and protect our peace. The difference lies in our response. Instead of reacting with hatred, we respond with clarity and understanding. Not because the other person deserves it, but because we deserve peace. There's a Buddhist story about a man walking with a heavy sack of stones on his back. He was exhausted, yet he refused to put it down. A monk saw him and asked, "Why are you still carrying that?" The man replied, "These are my grudges and resentments." The monk said simply, "Let them go. You don't need to carry them to move forward." This is how so many of us live, burdened by the past. We believe holding on to pain punishes those who hurt us, but in truth, we're only punishing ourselves. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing ourselves from the emotional weight that holds us back. As a Buddhist master once said, holding a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone, who gets burned first? Anger and hatred consume us far more than they affect the person they're aimed at. So how can we cultivate compassion when we've been hurt? First, by understanding this. People act from their level of awareness. Someone who harms others is likely carrying pain of their own. That doesn't excuse their actions, but it helps us release the burden of taking it personally. Second, we give ourselves permission to heal. We don't have to carry every wound forever. We can let go. We can move on. We can breathe again. We learned how compassion helps us heal, not just our relationships with others, but with ourselves. Now, we take one more step forward, the courage to let go and begin again. Forgiveness, after all, is not weakness. It is strength. It takes far more courage to release anger than to hold on to it. It takes true bravery to loosen our grip on pain and choose peace instead. When we begin to truly cultivate compassion, something within us shifts. We stop reacting out of fear. We begin acting from love. We become more patient, more understanding, lighter in spirit. And this doesn't just improve our inner world, it transforms how we relate to others, to life, and to the world around us. Compassion is not a soft escape from reality. It is the foundation of wisdom, the thread that connects us to deeper harmony and lasting peace. It is an essential part of the Buddhist path toward inner liberation. In the next, we'll explore something vital: how to live these teachings, not just understand them, but integrate them into our everyday life, so we can walk this journey with more awareness and fulfillment. Integrating Buddhist teachings into daily life. One day, a monk and his disciple were walking through a quiet forest. The disciple, restless and anxious, asked, "Master, how long will it take me to reach enlightenment?" The master smiled and replied, "If you walk with impatience, it will take much longer. But if you walk with patience, it may come sooner than you think." That is the quiet secret of transformation. It doesn't happen in an instant, not from reading a single book or watching one video or understanding a concept. Real growth happens through daily practice, through repetition, effort, and gentle awareness. Because what good is it to know that attachment causes suffering if we continue to cling to what hurts us? What good is understanding the value of acceptance if we still resist what life brings? So how do we live these teachings? Here are 6 ways to bring Buddhism into your everyday life. 1. Practice detachment. This doesn't mean abandoning what you love or living without connection. It means learning to enjoy life without trying to control or possess it. When something beautiful enters your life, welcome it with gratitude, but hold it lightly. And when something ends, allow yourself to grieve, but without clinging. Ask yourself, am I holding on out of love or out of fear? That question will show you whether it's time to let go. 2. Radical acceptance. Start each day with this reflection. What can I accept today? Maybe it's a challenge at work, a disagreement with someone, or something in yourself you're learning to embrace. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means seeing clearly, so you can respond wisely. 3. Trust in life. When things don't go as planned, recall the story of the monk's horse. Don't rush to label things as good or bad. Ask instead, what lesson might life be offering me through this? Over time, you'll discover that even detours lead somewhere meaningful. 4. Meditate daily. You don't need an hour-long session. Even 5 quiet minutes of conscious breathing can change your entire day. Sit, breathe, observe, let go. At first, it might feel unproductive, but slowly you'll notice that your mind becomes steadier, your reactions softer. 5. Let go of control. Do your best, but then release the outcome. Like the archer who draws the bow, aims with care, and lets the arrow fly without obsessing over the target. When things don't go your way, ask, how can I adapt and flow with this moment? Because the most beautiful things in life often arrive unplanned when we're open enough to receive them. 6. Practice compassion in every action. Compassion doesn't require grand gestures. A kind word, a gentle look, a warm smile. These can change someone's day. And above all, practice compassion with yourself. When you stumble, speak to yourself the way you would to someone you dearly love. Life is a constantly shifting journey. Don't expect perfection. Don't wait for enlightenment to descend in a single moment. There will be days when you forget, when you react out of fear, when you hold on too tightly. That's okay. Learning isn't a straight path, it's a spiral. What matters is that we keep returning to these teachings again and again, each time with a little more presence. Buddhism is not a theory to be studied. It is a practice to be lived. Every day is a new chance to let go a little more, to trust a little deeper, to live with a bit more peace. If this video has resonated with you, we invite you to subscribe to Buddhism Seeds, a place where we explore the teachings that gently transform lives. If you feel inspired, please like this video, share it with someone who might need it today, and leave a comment below. Which teaching touched your heart the most? Have you ever experienced a moment when life showed you that everything truly arrives in its own time? We would love to hear your reflections. See you in the next video.